All right, guys, I want to welcome you to the Do Work Podcast, where we believe in one thing and one thing only. That is that nothing changes unless you do, nothing changes unless you do the work. I'm so excited to bring this next guest on. It is Women's History Month. Okay, it's Women's History Month. I'm super excited. Our guest is going to be Elaine Johnson. She is a motivational speaker. She has the Mogul Mami podcast. She runs Latinas Emotion. And when you talk about just all around boss chick, she is it. So I'm going to bring her in right now. Where's my girl? Boom! Let's go.
I am so excited to be here, guys.
What is up, Elaine? I'm so excited to have you. First of all, like I told you, so Elaine and I talked a little bit before we came on, and literally my words were, I was like, "Oh my God, I miss you. I
I
miss you.
miss you too.
I miss you. I don't know what else to say, and I'm gonna try not to fidget in my chair tonight, but I miss you. So please introduce yourself to our community, the Do Work Podcast community.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to be here. My name is Elaine Johnson. I am a serial entrepreneur. I believe that all of the gifts and talents that God has given you, it's your job to execute that thing. So I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm a unicorn. Okay. So I am a wife. I am a mother of two. I'm a speaker. I have a podcast. I have a planner. I'm just out here doing everything God tell me to do. I'm gonna do it. Like I'm just that type of woman.
I'm here for it. So there's a couple reasons I'm super excited for you tonight. One, when I had my pandemic podcast, when I had drinks with Diva and I was doing my pandemic podcast, we had like legit the best episode ever and it didn't save. I was so heated. So I was like, no, it's Women's History Month. I'm getting my girl back on. Um, One of the things I love about you is that you are very, you are so girl power, woman power. Like I love that about you. And I love that you're supportive. And I know a lot of people say, you know, women are always put against each other, but I feel like you're just supportive, man. Like I we how long have we known each other now? I'm trying to like really
It's
put my
been
head around.
years. It's been
No,
years.
I said 8 earlier, and I feel like it may have been a little bit longer, but I said 8 earlier.
So I started following you because you were training so many people, and I was just so inspired by your energy. Like to see a woman who is unapologetically herself, it to me it felt like air because I was still working full time at the time. So it's like
Wow. Okay.
you were the definition of what was possible.
I love you. And
I love you. I mean it.
no, and I'm gonna tell you why. I literally was just talking to some of the young girls in my gym, and I was telling them about you, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have my friend on tonight. She's amazing." And we were talking about different things, and I said, one of the things my personal goal is in life is to show possibilities. So you saying that got me a little choked up right now. It's too early to be choked up. We ain't gonna do that tonight. But that's literally, I wake up every day and I'm like, yo, I just want to show people what is possible. So if you got that from me, like, yo, I'm good.
But
I'm
that's
good.
real. But that's real. Like
I'm
you
good.
you you can't be what you can't see, right? So like you putting yourself out there, and at the time it was Instagram. I know, guys. I know right now TikTok is the thing and all this stuff. But when I saw Diva, she was killing it on Instagram, and I was so inspired just by her energy. And I hadn't even met her yet. And then, I don't know how you guys feel, but like people can be real interesting on social media. Like they can put out content where they seem like they're friendly and they're girl power and they're
Mhm.
so energetic, but then you
Girl.
DM them like yo, I'm inspired by you, then it's like thanks, but no thanks, right? Like these,
It's like
I'm
buy my ebook.
right. So I remember hitting up Diva, and to me, Diva was like the moon. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. And Diva hit me up right away, like, oh mama, blah, blah, blah. So it's like she is exactly the person y'all see wherever on social media, on the street. She
I love
is
you.
10 times better than that, y'all. Like
Yo.
10 times better than that. And I think us as entrepreneurs, that's the best compliment we can get. Like when I meet people and they be like, oh my gosh, you're just like you were on Instagram. Well, praise the Lord.
No,
because that's
don't
what I
that
wanna
mean
be.
the world to you? I'm in the chat. Somebody said, Diva, you're the real thing. Yo, thank you. I'm in the chat too.
You are the real thing.
I'm a multitask tonight. Um, you know, the other thing I want to say, because screw me, I want to talk about you because I don't bang with a lot of people. And oh, I'm on LinkedIn. Let me clean. I don't rock with a lot of people. I don't associate with certain people because I'm very particular, and you're somebody I associate with. You have so many cool organizations and things that you're a part of. So what I do want to do, let's get into that because I want to highlight. I'm telling you, my goal this month is to highlight all these amazing women that I know, and I'm honored to be a part of their lives. So let's talk about Latinas Emotion.
Let's do it.
Yo, so I always mess this up. I know one time you corrected me. So are there different chapters? Did you create? Are you a founder? Or like how did please explain what Latinas Emotion is and how you got started?
So Latinas Emotion, guys, it is my first baby. It is like when you guys are starting a business, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to start a business like Diva, like Elaine, when you start a business, you are birthing a child. And
Yes.
so Latinas Emotion is a nonprofit organization I started in 2012. And I started it with just me. And so if you're watching this, I want to encourage you. Listen, when you find a deficit, it is absolutely your job to fill that thing. And at the time I did the Broad Street Run, and there was this huge group called Black Girls Run. And there was another huge group called Students Run
Yeah.
Philly Style. And so you see all these pockets of runners. And at the time, in 2012, there were not any Latina health wellness groups. Now there's a bunch.
Yo,
Okay,
you're
now there's a bunch. But
right.
in 2012, there weren't any because here's the thing, I'm a girl's girl. Like if there was an organization created, I would have joined it because I feel like we're better together, right? I don't have to be the leader of everything. But at the time there wasn't. So I started Latinas in Motion in Philly, and then it was Facebook at the time. Again, I feel like we're dating ourselves, but I still love Facebook, y'all. So Facebook at
We
the time,
on Facebook right now. Shout out to everybody on
yeah,
Facebook.
shout out to
Tuning in.
Facebook.
Appreciate
So
y'all.
I took a selfie, and this is why, like, some people be like, "Oh, social media, social media." Social media changed my life. I took a selfie of me and these other women, like, "Hey, first run with Latinas in Motion," and then somebody hit us up from New Jersey, and then somebody hit us up from New York. And here's another thing: you may not have all the answers, but everything is figure outable. Don't ever tell somebody I don't know. Your new answer is gonna be like, I'm gonna find out. So when women were asking me, like, can I start a chapter in New Jersey? I'm gonna find out. I'll get back to you. And I figured it out. And here we are years later, right? 2012, we're about to hit up our 10-year anniversary in June, and we have 5,000 members. We're in 10 different states, right? But this all started with an idea and me just having the courage to execute. It doesn't mean that you're going to have all the answers on day one. It doesn't even mean that you're going to be excellent on day one. It means that you have the courage to do the thing you
Yes.
feel like God is calling you to do.
Yo, I just gotta first of all, let me chime in. If you're saying 2012, we've known each other 10 years, sis. Cause I think that's when I did shout out to City Fit Girls too, because they gave me I gotta get Kiera on here. Now that I'm talking about that, yo,
Yeah, it's all coming
get her
together.
on here. But I feel like it introduced me to a lot of people. And
Mhm.
you said something. You started with an idea and it was you. I started the same way. Everybody's like, "Oh, Diva, how did you build a gym?" Because a lot of people have online businesses, and I think that's awesome. Trust me, that's the way to go. If you can reduce your overhead, it's the way to go. But a brick and mortar is a whole nother ball game. Okay, it's just a whole nother ball game. So when I started my business, when I was training full time, I remember going out to the park, and I talk about this a lot. First time I went to teach a class, nobody showed up. And I did that for weeks, but I kept going. And I part of the reason I feel we connect is we get resilience. And if you're and I know it's Women's History Month, and I'm not, locking the dudes out. I'm just saying, right now, ladies, I'm talking to you. Y'all need to have some damn resilience, okay? Like, nobody's showing up, keep going. Somebody says no, keep going. And that is, yeah, now I know why I bang with you. Not that I didn't know, but as we're talking, things are coming to the surface, and I'm like, yo, this is why we connected, because you already had that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I love that about you. So if y'all better follow Elaine. Elaine, I'm gonna put your IG and stuff in here. I didn't do it, sis, but I'm gonna put it in here. I got you, boo.
You good. You good.
I got you. I'm gonna put it in here. I got you. All right, guys. So this is the other thing. Elaine was the first person to say to me, Diva, you need to do a podcast. And I'm gonna be 100. This was before the pandemic. Okay. And for all you people like, what's the pandemic? You know what it is, but I don't like to say the word because then things pop up on your videos and I don't want all that. So before the pandemic, about 2.5 years ago, how long you had Mogul Mami podcast?
I started Mogul Mami podcast in 2019. It was June 2019.
Boom. So I'm right. 2.5 years ago, I was at your house.
Yeah.
We were podcasting, and you was like, Diva, do a podcast. And I was like, I don't have time, because at that point the gym was only open like a year. It was just too much going on. I knew I couldn't do it. I was like, no, 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 no. So we did Drinks with Diva, which was my one platform during the pandemic. That's over. Boom. Now we've transitioned into the Do Work podcast. And I remember when I did the first episode, I was like, yo, I remember Elaine saying to me in her house, Diva, you need to do this. Like, you have stuff to say. You need to do this. So let's talk about your podcast, because I had the best time on your podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I really did. I enjoyed it. So let's talk about the Mogul Mami podcast. So tell people about the podcast.
So the Mogul Mami podcast, I started the Mogul Mami brand because I was working for the school district before I became an entrepreneur. So I was working full time for the school district of Philadelphia. Then I started Latinas Emotion, right? Because I was one of the first organizations that were fully focused on Latinas, people started to reach out to me to speak, right?
Yes.
So universities, corporations, they would say, hey, can you come talk to us about being a Latina, being in business? I had never spoken in that caliber before, y'all. But again, what did I tell y'all? Everything is figure outable. So I'm like, cool, let me go speak. Then they started cutting your girl a check. Okay. So
It's
if you're
all about
listening
the
to this podcast episode, people get paid to speak, y'all. And they get paid well.
Hello.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, you're gonna pay me to tell my story. And so I thought like, oh my gosh, this was great. So then the number one question I would always get was, so you're working full time, you have Latinas Emotion, and you're married, and you're a mom. Like, how do you do everything? Then I realized that society, specifically to women, because I don't see them doing this to men, society will put women in a box of like, you can be this amazing career woman, or you can have a great marriage. You can be a really great mom, or you can be an entrepreneur. And so for me, I first of all, if y'all follow me, y'all gonna know that I love the Lord. And so one of the things that I live by is like, my God is not a God of or, my God is a God of and. So it's not Elaine is a wife or a businesswoman or a mom. It's an and, y'all. So if God gave me this amazing marriage, then I know he's going to give me this amazing business because my God is a God of multiplication. And so when I realized that message is not out enough, I decided, oh, I need to create a brand for me. I need to create a brand of being a mogul because being a mogul is something I watched on TV. People say
Yes.
Oprah is a media mogul. People say Diddy is a music mogul, but we don't use that term for each other. And if you're watching this, mogul literally means a powerful person in media, a
Come
powerful
on,
person.
girl. Come on.
And so for me, I decided I'm going to take that word back and I'm going to make it my own. And so I spell mommy very Puerto Rican, Mami, just so that I could put these two words that society would never put together. And so every time you think of Elaine Johnson, you have to know that she is a serial entrepreneur, and that she's a wife, and that she's a mom, and that she's going to continue to do every single thing God is telling her to do, and do it unapologetically. Y'all, when I tell you I sit in these meetings, today I was filming with a partner and I told them to their face, I'm leaving here at 1. I got to pick up my kids. When you set the standard for yourself, everybody will follow suit, right? And so the reason why I started the Mogul Mami podcast is because there was so much I wanted to say that there wasn't enough time for in a 30-second snippet on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Nope.
And so if I'm going to continue to tell people my story to make sure that as you see me, quote unquote, succeed, right? You feel free to say me too. So that if you see that I'm in a healthy marriage, I'm Puerto Rican, my husband is Black. They say people like us do not last. We about to celebrate 14 years. And I'm
Amen.
hashtag crazy in love like Beyonce, right? Like I need to
Amen.
share that story. I need people to know that you can look like me and have success and have joy, y'all. Not happiness, joy. And so in the Mogul Mami podcast, I talk a lot about faith. I am so unapologetic. I talk a lot about God. I talk about my relationship with God. And then I sprinkle a lot about love and motherhood and business. But mostly it's the Lord.
You know, yo, as you was breaking down, you was like, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm sitting here, I was like, I'm waiting for it. And the Lord. I love that about you. I love that about you. I really do. That's something else. I know I've been saying I love a lot of things about you, but I really do. Like, I don't say that people, and you know me, I don't say that to just anybody. Like, if I don't like you, you probably will never even really talk to me. Yeah. You're not gonna, yeah. We won't even converse. Um, yo, gosh, man, I love that. So one of the things I wanted to focus on during Women's History Month is, and I think you said it when we first started, we were talking about possibilities. And I love what you just broke down. It's like women can be all these things.
Right.
And you know, I agree with you. When I started just everything, right? Like the clothes and the gym and the life coaching business, it was more of a thing of how can I teach people to explore their potential and know that like it's limitless. You guys you can do anything, and then make my life be a testament to that. Like, yeah. I'm not big on, I know I talk a lot, but I more want people to look at me and say, Diva does this. She lives like this. She's a woman. She's Black. She's gay. And she's overcome all these obstacles. So I can do the same. Like, I don't always talk about race. Like, you see me, I'm Black. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm LGBTQ plus IAJK. I know the community hates when I do that, but I love doing it. It's funny. I'm sorry, y'all. It's funny. Chappelle is funny. But like being able to live my life in such a way that is the example. Like, I'm so tired of people talking and not taking action. I'm so tired of people talking about what they're going to do or how they're going to evoke change and not moving. And the thing I love about you is that you evoke change through your actions. Like, if somebody follows you, they're going to see Latinas Emotion. They're going to see you talking about Mogul Mami podcast. They're going to, like, they see the relationship with you and your husband, your husband, Principal Bay.
Yeah,
Tell Daryl so.
I will.
Husband,
I
Principal Bay. That's my bro.
will.
But they see that. So I gotta ask, how do you balance all of this? What does your daily routine look like? How do you get your day started?
Yeah, so that is a great question. It's gonna sound like this was practice. I pinky promise. It was
No,
not,
you
y'all.
good.
I pinky promise it was not. But that's the reason why I created my Plan Pray Slay planner, because everyone would ask that same question Diva would just ask. And so every day I literally start my day with gratitude. And any book you read on leadership, I don't care if it's from an atheist all the way to a Christian, in some
Hello.
way, shape, or form, they're gonna talk about gratitude. Some way, shape,
Facts.
or form. And
Facts.
so for me, the reason why I created this planner is because there are people who may not have any interest in reading, but if I can teach people these life-changing tools, I'm gonna do it. And so I start my day with gratitude. I affirm myself. And if you guys follow me on Instagram specifically, I'm always sharing like snippets of my kids. My kids, if y'all stop my children in the street and say, "What is your affirmation?" My son is going to say, "I'm powerful." My daughter's going to say, "I'm a child of God." Like, I am so big on teaching our
Ooh.
community to affirm themselves, because here's the thing: if you don't know who you are, if you don't know whose you are, you're going to believe what everybody's saying about you. So, regardless of how people feel about Elaine, I'm good on that, because I know that Elaine is amazing. I know I have purpose. I know I shift the energy of every room I walk into, but that's what I affirm, because believe it or not, scientifically, you guys can Google this. Whatever you say you're out your mouth, your mind believes it as it is so. So when you're saying, "Girl, I'm tired," you're affirming that you're tired. When you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so fat," you're affirming that you're fat. It does not matter what my body looks like. I affirm that I'm strong. I affirm that I'm
Yes.
beautiful. I
Yes.
affirm that I'm brilliant, because I know that I am. And so when we're talking about daily routines, you have to shift your mindset. There are so many people that be like, "I get up and I work out." You're working out your body and your mind is trash. Trash. Diva and I could sit here and tell you how many people are physically fit and mentally weak.
Mhm. For
And so for me,
sure.
I'd rather be the reverse. I'd rather be unstoppable in my mind and make sure my body catches up. But when we're talking about how do you balance it, it's all about your mindset. I use words like "I get to," right? So instead of saying like, "Oh, I have to take my kids to school," I get to take my kids to school. I
Hello.
I have to do this with my husband. I get to do this with my. It's a mindset shift, right? And then in terms of how do I balance all my businesses, honestly, it's just prioritizing. Like, I could sit here and lie and say, "Oh, well, I have the most perfect." I don't, y'all. I don't have it all figured out. Some days I look like Beyonce, and some days I look a little questionable, right? But like, it's about what needs to get done today. So today I had a huge filming project that I had to do with a partner. That was what I had to do today. Tomorrow, tomorrow is going to be a real estate day. Like, I literally think,
Hello.
what is the goal for today? That's how you guys need to formulate your days. We spend a lot of time chilling. You spend a lot of time scrolling. You spend a lot of time Netflix and chilling. You do. And here's the thing, Diva and I do too, right? We love a good date. We love a good chill, but we work more than we chill.
Yes. Yes. Yo, so I'm in here typing stuff in the comments right now. God, when you talk about daily routine, I talk about that so much in the do work method. Like, I feel like I talk about it too much almost, but I don't think people really realize their power.
Agree.
They don't realize their power. They don't realize that every day you can set yourself up for success. And even when you lose, you can win. Like, I I don't even know how to get it through to people anymore, any more than I do. And I hope that, especially for the females watching this, like, yo, you ladies, you are so limitless. You are just so limitless, sis, queen, girl, woman. What? You are so limitless. And Women's History Month for me is a chance to kind of do that check in and be like, yo, check in on my girls. How are you doing? How are we winning? Be more conscious and mindful of like who we're surrounding ourselves with. Cause it not only does it take a village to raise a child, like for us as women to really grow and get to that next level, it takes a whole community. Everything
Absolutely.
I've done, I have not done alone. Everything I've done, I have not done alone. Like I just haven't. I've had women in my life who've been supportive, who've uplifted me, who've educated me, who've mentored me. And I, to the best of my ability, when I can, I want to give that back.
Yes.
And I know you do the same. Like you do the same. So what advice would you give to young women right now? And I'm gonna say, just even as both of us being entrepreneurs, you're in a male dominated space. I'm in a male dominated space. I go to these conventions for club owners, and one, not a lot of women that own. There may be women there, but they are not owners. And I'm
Right.
not saying that as a diss, but they're not owners. And two, there definitely ain't no women of color there. Every time I get there and I see one, I'm like, hey girl, like, it's mostly older white males. And I know you're in real estate now, on top of everything else you do. So, what advice could you give to young women who are trying to just navigate, find their place in the world in these male dominated spaces?
Yeah, the best advice I would give to women, young, seasoned, in between,
Hmm.
the faster you get to purpose, the more your life will change quicker,
Say
right?
that again. No, you're going to say that again.
Like
Yeah, you
the faster you get to purpose, the faster your life will change.
are. Amen.
Right. So
Let's.
like for me, I think that growing up, I grew up in North Philly. My parents had a really toxic marriage. My mom did the best she could. She really did, y'all. But I went to inner city schools. I didn't know the principles of life, of purpose, of joy.
Yes.
I was just trying to exist. I went to college solely based on the fact that I wanted to get out of Philly and I didn't want that environment for myself. That's the only reason I went to college. And I'm grateful for that experience. But once I graduated college and I got married in my 20s is when I realized, okay, my purpose is Latinas Emotion. And then you just need a spark, right? It was just a spark. It was just an idea. And as I started to literally self-assess and do the internal work that I needed to do to figure out who Elaine was, not Elaine wife, not Elaine mother, not Elaine entrepreneur. Like you need to be good with you. You need to be good with
Yes.
you. I'm not my
Yes.
title. I am a purpose driven person, right? And
Yes.
what happens is that all those titles reap the benefits of a whole purpose driven woman, but I have to get there. So that's why I am so hard on my children on figuring out what they love, right? Like
Mhm.
my daughter, I saw there was a spark of artistry in her and I signed her for an art class. Like I want to make sure that I'm nourishing who they are, not who I want them to be. I want to get them
They
as
are.
close to their purpose as possible. I
Mhm.
read Will Smith's book, and Will Smith, I love what he said about parenting. You can say what you want to about I love Will Smith. I'm always pro Philly, but like he said, his job as a parent,
Mhm.
if his daughter was created to be a rose, his job is to water and nourish that rose,
Yes.
not to wish that that rose was a tulip, not to wish that rose was a daisy. His job as a parent is to nourish that rose. And so for me as a mom, I want my kids, y'all. If you were to ask me like, what do you want? I want to make sure that I get my kids as close to their purpose as possible while they're young. That's why I affirm them every day. That's why I'm so like, they could blink their eyes and I'm like, you are the best blinker, because like the world will tear kids up. So like I need them to know that like, home, I got you. Like, I'm your biggest cheerleader. So if you're looking at this and you're like, Elaine, I don't even know how to get to purpose, this is what I'm gonna tell you. This is my sermon moment, okay? On the New Work Podcast.
Let's go.
You have no idea what your purpose is. Make sure you are in constant communication with your creator, right? So like if you had no idea, right? I'll break it down to you because you're like, Elaine, I don't understand. Okay, so if you walk into hard work, no excuses, and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, the first thing you're gonna ask, where's the owner? Why? Because the owner was intentional in every single thing in that gym. So Diva could tell you, oh, well, this is for this and that is for that, because she created it. And so here you are looking at your life, not knowing what your purpose is, and you have no communication with God who created you. So if you're watching this, if you're listening and you're like, listen, I don't know what my purpose is, yo, talk to God, and don't let what you see on TV, on social media about God mess up your opportunity to grow a relationship with him. Legit, I talk to God just like I talk to Diva. Exactly the same way. God felt real raggedy today. God, right? It's like that's struggling with purpose. I pinky promise. Get in communication with your creator and you're going to be set.
Yo, it's funny. I agree with you 100%. I think once you find your purpose, everything else falls into place. I know for me, part of my purpose has always been to empower people. Before the gym, before there was a business, before there was anything, the goal was to make everybody I came in contact with feel better than when they left me, to feel more, not only physically powerful, but mentally, emotionally powerful. And that I think that part of me is what led me into the life coaching and all that, because I was like, I was doing it before it was a thing.
Amen.
You know, like I just was like speaking life into people. I was speaking life into my clients, and people who were coming to me, they weren't coming to me to work out. It was like, yo, Diva, help me get my shit together. Like, I don't understand. And I'm like, yo, you all over the place. Let's get you focused. Let's get you honed in. And you're right. The man, purpose is life changing. Purpose is life changing. And the more people can get in contact with their purpose, one, you won't be stressed. There won't be so much resistance. You know, if you feel like you're constantly in a battle, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you got to grind it out, but sometimes it might be a different direction.
Preach.
Fight till you can't fight no more. But, you know, purpose is the driving force. I love what you said about inspiring and nurturing your children. You know, I have 2 boys and I love those little dudes. And they ain't little, you know, they like 19 and 22, but they still need guidance. You know, every time I talk to them, I love you. How's your life? You training? You doing this? What you do with yourself today? Tell me, what did you do? That sounds great. I'm proud of you. And, you know, growing up, my mother did that 100%. Diva, why are you so positive? You always so upbeat all the time. You know why? Because day in and day out, one thing, I'll never forget this. My mother would always say to me, she was like, I want you to remember you are a child of the King.
Amen.
From day, you are a child of the King. And that is how I grew up. So regardless of where I go or what I do in life, why am I confident? I'm a child of the King.
Amen.
My mother, you are a descendant of royalty. You're born of African kings and queens. She's been telling me this since I was a baby. I believe it. I live it. So when I enter spaces, and I try to teach young women when they enter spaces to hone and have that confidence. regardless of your nationality, regardless of your religious status. Like when you walk in, I try to teach them to own the room. Be so good they can't deny you.
Yes.
Just be so good they can't deny you.
So true.
You ain't gonna tell me no. I'm good. You need me. You need me. So, man, Women's History Month about to be lit for me, man. It's about to
Lit. Litty.
be lit. All right, I got one more thing for you. One more thing for you. And then I'm gonna let you go because you know Diva get. I tell everybody when I get on here late, I be like, "Yo, y'all know I gotta get up at 3:30." So
I
I gotta get at least 4.5 hours, or I'm a demon in the morning.
I got you.
But yo, let's Women's Herstory Month. Let's talk about Herstory Month. So, what does this month mean to you?
To me, it's funny. I was having that conversation with somebody today. So for me, it's about paying homage to all the shoulders that made it possible for me to sit in my privilege today, right? But then to also to remember that I am a living legend. And for me to act like I'm anything less than that is a disservice to my ancestors.
Can I get out the frame 1 second? Ah! I got the rolling chair and a back. Oh, yo!
It's
That's
true.
deep. That's deep. I don't know. I don't know. That just resonated. Yo, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, yo, that just resonated. So, yes, I am a living legend. Now, y'all know I can't start because if I start that, it's a wrap. Just know if Diva, I will walk in and okay, it'll be real intense. That's I can't say that yet because I don't know how to act. But yes, sis, you are.
Listen, hashtag respectfully. Hashtag respectfully. I am a living legend.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh my God. Yo, sis, just thank you. Thank you for your energy tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your passion. Please tell people where they can follow you, what your channels are.
So, guys, before we end this podcast,
God,
I gotta tell y'all something real quick.
Oh God,
You
go.
don't even know this. No, you don't even know this. But
Oh Lord.
So a couple years ago, Diva was like, "Yo, I want your Latinas Emotion girls to come out." I'm like, "Yo, let's do a start of the year, new me, new you workout." And so this was probably 2018 or 2019. You just opened up your gym. And I was going through one of the hardest seasons in entrepreneurship. Like legit was thinking like, I can't do this anymore. I wasn't making any money. I was about to just quit, right? So Diva hits me up and says, "Yo, you guys still coming to the gym?" I say, "Yeah." She was like, "I want to buy," it was a ridiculous amount. It was like 20 planners. It was something crazy.
Oh yeah.
And she asked me for this order, and legit, I had prayed, and I had asked God, like, "God, if entrepreneurship is for me, like, give me a win. Give me a win." And legit, that same day, Diva was like, "Yo, when you come up here, make sure you have these 20 planners." And when I came, I brought the 20 planners. She paid me in cash. That was the only money that was in my bank account at the time. And it was my God wink. It was my answered prayer. And I never told her, because in entrepreneurship, you're so afraid to say when you're struggling. You're so afraid to say when you're broke. And I wasn't broke, right? Like I had my husband and stuff. But for me, like I'm all about making my own money. And so that was such a win that she didn't even know that I needed. And so now I'm coming up on being 5 years as an entrepreneur. And I want you to know that if there was no Diva, there would be no Mogul Mami. So make sure that as you climb, make sure you lift others. And you never have no idea how you're a prayer answer for somebody, y'all.
Yo, I am, wow. I'm
That
speechless.
was that is true story. You could ask my husband. Like,
Oh, all right. I'm going to cry when we get off this call. Okay. Yo,
but saying all that to say, Diva, you're a blessing. You don't even know you don't even know how many seeds you've planted because you haven't seen them bloom yet. But girl, I'm one of them. I thank you. I honor you. That's why whatever she want me to come to Jersey, be on a podcast, whatever you want, girl. You got it. You got it.
yo, that is wild.
That's the truth. That is the God honest truth. So if you guys want to follow me,
No, tell them where to follow you, man. You tell them where to follow you.
Instagram
Oh my
is my
God.
government, Elaine G. Johnson. You guys could, follow the Mogul Mami podcast. Follow me on all socials, Latinas Emotion. But listen, make sure to continue to support my girl because she is real life superhero.
Yo, that is all love. Oh my God. All right. I appreciate you. And I know I've said it like 20 times tonight. I love you because I'm very big on if I love and care for people, I tell them. I'm a hard ass, but if I love you, you gonna know because I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, yo, I love you. Like, so I do. I want you to have a great evening, sis. Thank you so much
You
for your time
too.
and energy. And we will talk soon. Take care, baby.
Yes.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yo. Okay. I wasn't ready for that. That just really that blew my mind. That definitely blew my mind. All right, guys. So that's it for tonight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Do Work Podcast. The Do Work Podcast is a weekly podcast that is created to just inspire, motivate, and push you guys to that next level in your life, whatever that may be for you. And remember, for us, the only thing that matters, one thing and one thing only, is that nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. Make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube or wherever you get your streaming services. All right, guys, have an amazing evening. I love you guys. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Be great. Have a good night.